Hey everyone, and welcome back to the news. Patch 8.2.5 PTR is here. There are loads of really cool bits of lore, plus new models, including the new Goblin and Worgen revamp, so we have a lot to talk about. And then also, we are hiring. It's a writing position for our industry news channel, so you can check out the link below for that. And a big thank you to the patrons who've made that possible and helped us grow. We're actually working on a special WoW project very soon, and if you'd like to help us out, well, it does happen to be Paladin Month over on our Patreon, so you'll get your 2 bits of art.
McCall, you hear that? It's Paladin Month. Are you going to support Bellior this month?
Yeah, man.
Awesome, dude. That's great to hear.
And the vinyl sticker all for $25, shipping included. So, with that covered, let's get into today's very exciting news. Okay, Rathian is back. Well, somewhat. So, patch 8.2.5 seemingly is going to be advancing the Champions of Azeroth storyline. Predictably, it's the Champions of Azeroth, though things aren't exactly going that well because, hey, we're quite easily played. Seemingly, we are rushed into the Chamber of the Heart, where we find that Spirit Walker Ebonhorn is dealing with old god corruption. Now, that's alarming because he is, well, inside the Chamber of the Heart, but that's not exactly a new thing. The Chamber of the Heart has had a few void incursions before. Mother seemingly attempts to sanitize Ebonhorn, which does make sense given her pretty much being a robot, but Magni is able to call her off. Now, Magni seemingly knows that Rathian has been up to something, and that Rathian's knowledge could be vital to saving Ebonhorn and Azeroth. So he says that it's quite hard for anybody to hide from him, the speaker for Azeroth, so Magni is presumably able to—
Dad, what do you mean it's hard to hide from you? This guy's a fucking dumbass. Like, everything that he's done has been a dumbass decision. I mean, really, like everything that he's done has been wrong. You know what I mean?
To track Rathian down and send us off to bring Rathian back. Now, this seems to lead into the data mine scenario where we go to save Rathian in the Karazhan crypts from N'Zoth's agents. Now, according to the scenario's description, the Karazhan crypt is actually Rathian's hideout, so it's a pretty cool use of that area. Now, when you look at some of the data mined quest text from Wowhead's livestream, it seems as if Rathian has been spending his time just working on how to, like, resist the old gods, resist corruption. And really, they could be getting dangerously close to a plot where Rathian basically is just our super-powered savior who knows how to deal with our problem, but fundamentally some of this stuff would line up with Rathian's goals as a character and some of his motivations. So Rathian's father fell to corruption remarkably easy, and that means that it makes a lot of sense that Rathian will do all that he can in order to not repeat the sins of Deathwing. However, when it comes to kids trying too hard to not become their parents, well, the kids can often overcompensate and become exactly what they, well, don't want to be. Could Rathian's drive to be uncorruptible run the risk of him being corrupted? Perhaps it will, and if he gets close to being corrupted and it's all hanging on a knife's edge, maybe Anduin will be the one to save him. Now, sure.
I feel like that actually would make the most sense, right? Because Anduin and Rathian are like, you know, friends and shit because they used to play chess together upstairs. So whatever you call it, right? Chess, whatever. But the thing is that, yeah, obviously that would completely fucking make sense. And if Rathian ends up doing the same thing that Deathwing does, I don't know, I feel like that kind of would be boring. Like, I'd like to see Rathian actually be kind of like a, I don't know, like a neutral guy that's like a faction that's like working towards like the best interests of Azeroth rather than just kind of do the same thing that his father did. And if they do see it going down that route, I hope they don't take it full term and they kind of turn it around halfway through with like Anduin saving him or something like that. That's the only way that I would like to see that storyline progress.
Tumblr would go utterly wild for it, but it would tie into WoW's past with the discussions between Rathian and Anduin during Mists of Pandaria. That would actually give Blizzard's writers an opportunity to show that Rathian's absolutist view can be quite incorrect, and that Anduin's more empathetic one can actually work out, and that empathetic sort of way of doing things could be the thing that would save Rathian, which would be an interesting way to develop those two characters. But anyway, the point is, Rathian's back, and just look at his new model.
He looks badass.
The guy's aged up pretty well.
Looks awesome.
And what does this mean for the future of the game? Well, I think it means that the Dragon Isles are a lot more likely for patch 8.3. Now, the existence of the Dragon Isles was confirmed earlier on in this expansion when one of Rathian's agents mentioned it. Now, combine that with the focus on the Dragonflight storyline that we've seen so far in patch 8.2, and I think it's fairly clear that we're going to end up around the Dragon Isles at some point. Right, so we could get the Dragon Isles as a new zone and then maybe Ny'alotha as a raid. We could get both the Dragon Isles and Ny'alotha as 2 zones. Like
that's what we want to have right there.
Or we could get the Dragon Isles
what we're
and
fucking
the
looking
conflict being the core of 8.3, and maybe Ny'alotha is something that Blizzard would save for a future expansion. Now that being said, there is quest text of Rathian literally saying the real battle for Azeroth, so that very
Rest assured, when the time is right, you will have my aid in the fight against N'Zoth, the true battle for Azeroth. Wait, what? Wait, what the fuck? When did they say that? Like, since when was that the case? Like, I just don't remember that, honestly. That was in BFA? Wait, oh, that BFA 2. Come on, dude, relax. Like, I don't even want to hear this BFA Part 2 shit. Don't even say that. Okay, Rathian will say it next. 8.2.5 quest text. Okay, I thought it was actually just something that was completely fucking new. All right, well, the thing is that, like, the whole BFA storyline overall, I think has actually evolved into being something that's pretty fucking cool. I'm kind of happy about it, but the first half was just really kind of mediocre.
Well, could be what patch 8.3 is. Maybe 8.3 is the death of N'Zoth. Even though Ian was quite clear in saying that the final boss would be apparent to us after the 8.2 cinematic, well, looking at the game now, I think it's obvious that we're in a position where they could go in a few different directions, which is kind of exciting. Of course, that's not all the lore that we've got to talk about, though, today.
I hope they make Ny'alotha the next expansion. Like, I don't want to see it be like a patch or something like that, like Argus, for example. I just feel like that'd be really disappointing. I'd like to see Ny'alotha be like a full expansion, and the Dragon Isles, same thing with that. I mean, like, if they introduced the next expansion, for example, and they said, okay, next expansion is Ny'alotha and the Dragon Isles, I mean, that would be like the most hype fucking thing that they could possibly do. So I would really, really like to see that, and that would be probably the best version of the game that I could expect to see, right? Battle for Azeroth, faction versus faction, it's about saving Azeroth. Well, I think everybody basically picked up on that and kind of figured that out pretty early on. But even so, I do think that it looks a lot better than, you know, us fighting against, like, the other faction for some sort of, like, arbitrary reason that was created by a plot device that shouldn't have even happened in the first place. Like, yeah, I do definitely feel like it's much better than the original story. So I'm very glad about that. I've got to take a piss real quick. I was just trying to get that fucking box. I'll be right back. Just a second, guys.
This is not a good day for Texas. It's a bad time. Anyway, Twitch Prime.
Okay. All right, I'm back, boys. Sorry about that. Okay, all right, let's keep the video going.
Zakan, more commonly known as Zappy Boi, and Valera both have new models, and the meaning of this is pretty darn clear. We are going to see a lot of the Horde Rebellion in patch 8.2.5.
Yeah.
Now, that's hardly a surprise, but this does give us a bit more evidence. Now, Valera, she helped the Alliance communicate with Bane Bloodhoof, and of course was a longtime friend of Varian, and then of course for Zakan, well, we last saw him at the Swamp of Sorrows, all the way back during the patch 8.1 Starfine questline, and this could get super interesting. That questline ended with him returning to Orgrimmar, so, you know, he could, like, drum up support for Starfine. But the thing is that his fate is totally unknown to players, because players could inform Sylvanas that Zakan betrayed her. Now, here's the thing.
Yeah.
Thus far, every time there has been an option for the player to snitch to Sylvanas, regardless of the player's action, canonically, Sylvanas has found out about it. And that means that she knows about his loyalties. How could this plotline go? He could, incite a riot, he could leave the city with his supporters, he could drum up a small army for Saurfang and co. Both of those things would work. Alternatively, things could go a lot darker. And I'd have you remember that this is the same Blizzard that started the expansion off with Teldrassil, and the same Blizzard who have enjoyed having Sylvanas raise people as undead and have them fight their friends, a Sylvanas that has taunted Saurfang about his son. Now, this would set the internet on fire, but I would not be surprised if they set it up so that Sylvanas tries to kill Zappy Boi in front of Saurfang. Now, given the Old Soldier cinematic and the parallels with Saurfang's son being very clear indeed, well, Blizzard would have a few options.
What?
They could have Sylvanas follow through, kill him, raise him up. That would devastate Saurfang. It would
That's fuck that shit, dude. What a bunch of bullshit. No, there's no way they can. Because even all right. Let's say you
What happened?
No, because they think that Sylvanas is gonna kill Zappy Boi in front of Saurfang and make Saurfang kill Zappy Boi as an undead.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's bullshit, dude. Because you can't have it's been so long developing this character. They're like, okay, we've got Zappy Boi, everybody likes him, let's keep it going. If they fucking kill him this early on in his storyline, I'm gonna be pissed.
Well, that's good, right? Because you want your audience to have an emotional attachment to characters. That's why whenever that dude got his fucking brain pushed in on Game of Thrones, everybody was crying all the time, and oh my god, how can they do so brutal? Oh my god.
Yeah.
Right? And so you want your audience to be attached to these people, so that way whenever you kill them off, they get like pissed off, and they say a whole bunch of shit about it.
I feel like he's a character. Well, no, I feel like he's a character with a lot of potential, and it seems like it'd be really disappointing to have him just kind of, I don't know, just killed that early on. I mean, I don't know, like the trolls don't have any racial leaders at all. Like, who are the trolls' racial leaders? All of the trolls' racial leaders are basically dead. And they're like,
don't they have fucking Rokon or whatever the fuck his name is?
Rokon?
Yeah, he's good.
The guy from Warcraft 3 that nobody ever cared about?
People care about him now. He's the only one left to care about.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, I never even thought of Rokon. I went through the entire storyline of the Horde stuff. I forgot all about him. I don't know. I feel like he's not a big deal. People care now.
Well, you don't care about the lore, so why would you care about that character?
Well, I keep track of it, okay? Priestess Talanji is different, okay? She's fucking Zandalari. It's not the same thing as the real trolls, okay?
Wait, what?
Yeah, they're not. Didn't
the Zandalari wasn't the king fucking Zandalari? The king of all trolls, wasn't he Zandalari?
Yeah, but
you fucking dumbass.
No, but like they're not the real ones in the game though. Like what I mean is like you think of a
What do you mean they sent an emissary to fucking Zul'Gurub, dude?
Yeah, there's one guy. There's like one guy. Like the whole time, the trolls are one thing. They're these guys. They walk around like this. They talk like fucking Jamaicans, and they do the exact same shit, right? And they look a certain way, they act a certain way, and the Zandalari trolls are not that way. They don't look the same. I don't think they should have the Zandalari trolls, who are a fucking allied race, come in and take over the whole fucking thing. And it'd be the same as the Dark Iron Dwarves came in and they're like, hey, look at us, guys. Now we're in charge, and we're running Ironforge. And no, they're not. Magni's in charge. Go to Ironforge.
Not anymore.
No,
there's a council now.
Yeah, there's a council. Yeah, because they put her on the council. That way, it's not really a big thing. But everybody knows Magni's calling the shots.
No, of course, he's not even fucking part of it anymore. That's why they had to make the council.
Yeah, he is. I'll go over there right now, dude. Wait, what do you mean?
Okay, go ahead.
It's Muradin. I'm sorry, I meant to say Muradin. It's Muradin. Look, dude.
Muradin, yeah. But it's part of a council. You didn't say Muradin.
It's two M's, man. I mean, it's Muradin and Magni Bronzebeard. Like, yeah, I got fucking confused. Okay, look, you go over to Ironforge right now. I'll show you. Okay, we're not fucking retarded. We're our own race. No, listen, man. All I'm trying to fucking say is that I think that the trolls of the game should be the same fucking trolls. The main racial leaders of the trolls should be the same trolls that there were before. Now, even Jaina. Like, Jaina is another example, okay? Jaina is Kultiran, but she's fucking not because she's not fat. And so you have Jaina, who is Kultiran, but she's not at the same time. Anduin is a human. You have Sylvanas, who is an undead. And you have the orcs. Who is their racial leader now? Sarfang, who is a fucking orc. You look right over here. There's Muradin Bronzebeard. Okay, Moria doesn't fucking do anything. You can't even talk to her. You can't even talk to Moria. That's how little she matters. Oh wait, you can't talk to any of them.
You just said Jaina wasn't a fucking Kultiran because she's not fat, but there are plenty of non-fat Kultirans.
Well, what I mean, I know exactly, but like what I mean is that there are no Zandalari trolls that don't look like Zandalari trolls, because there's like Kultirans, like some of them were like affected by like the Drust or some kind of weird fucking bullshit. I forgot like what the lore was, but the point is that like look at Muradin. Muradin is front and center. Then you have
what about Zol?
Who?
Zol.
What about him?
He didn't look like the rest.
Zul was Zul even a Zandalari? Like, I don't even know.
Yes.
Let me see. I'm gonna look it up right now.
I think we need to have a little sit down with Pyro.
Zandalari, dude. Look at him. He's right there.
Today was a bad day to get into this.
He's Zandalari, 100%. He's Zandalari troll.
100%. He's hunched over.
Yeah, because you look at his helmet, dude. Anybody would be hunched over with that fucking helmet on, dude. Look at that. Look how big it is. There's no fucking way you wouldn't be hunched over with that. Even King Rastakhan has to sit back because his helmet's so fucking big. And he's a fucking badass. Like, Zul is just like...
Yeah, but your example was, oh, well, they don't look like the rest of them, so they're not this.
I just think I think the main faction fucking leaders should be characters that have represented the races that look visually the same as the races that have been in the game for 15 years. I don't want to have it. No, I'm not. I'm not backtracking at all. Like, this is exactly what I was saying. Like, all I'm trying to mean is that I don't want to have fucking Kultirans come over. Like, what if the Void Elves come and they take over the normal elves? That would be stupid. What are the Maghar orcs? I don't want to see a Maghar chieftain for, like, the fucking Horde. That'd be retarded. I want to see somebody...
Sylvanas doesn't look like the rest of the
Yeah,
undead.
But that's been established in the lore for the last 15 or 20 years. It's a different paradigm.
But that also goes against your fucking example, dude.
No, it doesn't. Like, yeah, obviously Sylvanas... Yeah, no, Sylvanas is the one exception.
So
Garrosh? Yeah, and look how that turned out. That didn't turn out too good, did it?
Yeah, but that's yet another example of a leader not turning out how their fucking followers are.
Listen, dude, I don't think they should have the Zandalari. No, because think about it like this. No, Thrall. No, he was even in the game, right? Thrall made Garrosh the war chief. And then at the same time, everybody was like, what the fuck? Everybody was mad about this. Everybody was mad. They wanted to have a fight over it. And Garrosh was going to get his ass beat, except for he had some poison dagger. Like, everybody, even the people in the game were mad. The people in the story that were, I remember whenever they were like, oh, Thrall's making Garrosh the war chief. Why? All Garrosh does is get mad. Like, that was literally the whole thing in the storyline. And like, now Sylvanas, another example, now that's causing trouble. You just have the same fucking characters that, I mean, I don't want to have the allied race. I don't want to have the allied races be the leaders of the factions. I think it's stupid.
At least
not this early on. Not this early on.
Look, dude, I know you're upset.
Not this early. It's too early, man. It's too fucking early. It should be like 5 more years before they have like one of the allied races have to do with that. It's listen, dude. Tharissa for war chief. Yeah, make Tharissa the war chief. That's so fucking dumb, man. God damn. Like, I don't want to have fucking... Okay, let's just go with the rest. Let's go with the rest. I forgot. What were we even doing? Watching a video. Okay. Here we go. Zappy Boi for War Chief. Yeah, Zappy Boi could be the Horde, like the fucking the troll racial leader, right, with Rokan or something. That'd be fine. I don't want to see him dying.
And in the process of doing that, they would make her an emotionally irredeemable character to the player base. Now, they could have Sylvanas try to do that, but have Saurfang stop her. He would be able to do for Zakan what he was not able to do for his own son, and that could be quite a powerful moment for the character.
I agree.
I mean, look, I know that's dramatic, perhaps I'm a bit cynical, but I do expect Blizzard to milk this character for all he's worth, especially given how they've talked about their Battle for Azeroth narrative decisions thus far, and their clear willingness to, you know, craft that big, shocking, emotional journey for players. They very much have talked about that out loud. It's not really a secret. And while we're on the topic of the Rebellion, well, a map has surfaced for a Baron's Warfront. This would make complete narrative sense, but I admit I'm just not that interested in playing Warfronts. Maybe getting into a heroic one could change that. I do need to try that mode, but I just don't think it's worth the dev time.
It's not. Like, the heroic Warfronts need to change them and make them better. I think that, like, Warfronts as an idea are good, but Warfronts will never truly be good until they are PvP.
Now, I'm sure that Warfronts do get
Heroic is an
engagement
improvement
numbers when the gear is relevant, but I find it hard to imagine that people actually do Warfronts because they enjoy the content. That's not all, though, because CALIA Menethil now has her Lightforged Undead model. This is actually very exciting for lore nuts out there like me, given the significance of what type of being she is now. Many suspect that CALIA could end up being the leader of the Undead after Sylvanas vacates her current position. She would be a Horde leader that could easily mix in with the likes of Bane, and that certainly would...
Wait. If CALIA is the leader of the Undead, and the Undead are in Lordaeron, that would mean that the Alliance would reclaim Lordaeron. I'll be honest, guys. I just want Lordaeron back as an Alliance city.
Be a change of pace for the Forsaken, and just character-wise, you know, being priests and all that, I could see her getting along with Bane. Now, there's far more that could happen here. We've seen what happened with Yrel's Lightforged Draenei, how they sort of turned a bit evil. We've seen how Zira maybe meant a bit well, but ended up being a bit of an authoritarian tool.
Yeah.
Now, if these plotlines are to continue, then I think we can be quite sure that CALIA will be taking on a role here, given her status as a Lightforged Undead and all of the teasing about the Light being a bit evil, sometimes, that we've seen recently. And then also, remember how the Undead are seemingly more resistant to Void corruption? Well, this could make her a particularly strong ally in the fight against the Void. Overall, though, there's just so much potential with her plotline, and it's great to see Blizzard just, you know, that they're going to be continuing it, that they're putting attention and care into this character. Next, though, let's talk about the Worgen and Goblin revamp. This is a very long-awaited one, and honestly, there's not that much to say about it other than I think, yeah, they're really good. I like Blizzard's art. Issues with both races have been improved, and, well, it's kind of sad to see them not go with a more dangerous and ferocious-looking female Worgen, but the new version is, I suppose, a bit of an improvement, and, I mean, hey, with the new Goblin rigs and animations, I'm pretty sure the road is paved for the Valpera to be the Horde allied race of 8.3, maybe along with the Mechanomes for the Alliance.
They do however they want.
But anyway, with this done, Blizzard have finally fulfilled their promise with the character revamps, and now I imagine they have freed up a decent chunk of their animation resources for working on future content. And then next up, we've got a bunch of new mounts, but most of them are not available through gameplay. So we do have the Honeyback Harvester, the Bee mount, which of course is through gameplay. Then there's the Alabaster Storm Talon and Thunderwing. These are both listed as in-game shop mounts. They're the mounts that come with the classic 15th Anniversary Collector's Edition.
Did you hear about that, McConnell? They're adding new storm mounts.
Who cares? They look like shit. Nobody's gonna buy them.
That's exactly.
I'm not even upset.
I know it's.
It's only when the mounts are cool.
Yeah.
And unique that I actually give a shit.
Yeah.
If they suck dick, if they're sucking cock and balls,
yeah,
and licking asshole, then yeah, I don't care. Who cares?
He doesn't give a fuck, dude. Like, I mean, I don't like store mounts. I always hate store mounts, but there's like different degrees of hating store mounts. Like, do I hate completely unique store mounts? Yes, I do, a lot more than I hate something like this. Nobody's going to it just looks like it's unfinished. Like, that's honestly what it is. It's like, you know, whenever you look at, like, a game design studio and they have, like, the untexturized model of a different character, that's what these griffins and this fucking wyvern looks like. It just looks like an untexturized model. Like, I don't know. Yeah, unpainted, basically. Yeah, unpainted.
So, I mean, in effect, yes, that is 2 more store mounts. At the end of the day, this will continue at a higher frequency like we've seen in BFA, given just how much these things are a pillar of World of Warcraft's business model. That's not all, though. We also have a new camel mount that comes from the new Recruiter Friend.
Very excited for that.
Explorer's Jungle Hopper,
Extremely
which also
excited
is a mount
for
that
that.
comes through Recruiter Friend. And then this patch also does add the Obsidian Worldbreaker mount that we've covered before, as well as the Stormpike Battle Ram and the Frost Wolf Snarler. And I'm sure this is going to conjure up the usual store mount debate. I think I've been very clear in the past. I dislike this as a business practice given the sub fee. I disagree with it in terms of reward design in making an MMORPG. And I've also pointed out that the very high effort mounts are typically the store ones, not the in-game ones. But it's also worth pointing out that the more I've looked into Final Fantasy XIV, as much as it is praised, I mean, man, its store-like mounts, it's really rough, that situation. They went way harder into that than Blizzard have. And maybe that's Blizzard catching on and trying to double down on this and make more money.
So they're fucking doing the same goddamn bullshit of Final Fantasy. Like, why am I not surprised? Final Fantasy... wait, people have been cucking for Final Fantasy for months, getting mad, trying to get me to play the game, talking about how great it is, and they've got more fucking store mounts than WoW does? And they're $30? And you guys want me to play that bullshit? Fuck no, I'm not going to do that. They sell transmog too? The shameless...
Wait, what do you mean?
What do you mean, what do I mean?
ESO has the same thing, and you played that.
I didn't know that whenever I played it.
Yes, you did. You knew it on the second day. The second time you tried it, man.
Yeah, the second time. By that time, I was already invested in playing it. Like, if I had known it at the very beginning, I wouldn't have played it out of fucking principle. Like, I'm not a fan of store items in an MMO. And also, ESO is different in a way that you don't it doesn't require a sub. It's fucking different. You can buy a flying convertible. No, it's completely fucking different. ESO is both a free and a sub version. Yeah, it's a different paradigm. ESO has $200 houses.
That's true. They're really expensive.
The fuck, dude? Who would spend?
Actually, they're probably more than that. I'd say they're probably like they're close to like $500 or $1,000 in.
Christ.
Like, it takes forever to get gold in that game, man.
That is insane, man. Like, how the fuck is that even a thing? Whatever.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it is. All right, let's look at this.
If anything, it does show you that we're in a world where MMOs are, you know, they're not getting 12 million subs anymore. And because of that, the real way to monetize is to monetize the people that you have with things like Recruiter Friend, store mounts, boosts, tokens. These things together, they could double, maybe even more, the average annual revenue per player. And that's going to be a major thing for companies like Blizz. And you know what? I'll probably do a big survey, see what all of my habits are, your guys' habits are, and we can maybe try to work out what the actual revenue situation is like on a per subscriber basis. So let me know if you're interested in a future video that's a deep dive into all those numbers. And then next up, let's round things off with some very interesting tidbits. So we've got some new illusions that look very cool for, you know, like the enchantment illusions.
That's cute.
We've got ensembles for the dungeon set 1 armor. So maybe that's something we can earn from the 15th anniversary event. There's also a new title, Renowned Explorer, which happens to come with a cosmetic armor set. Now, I've long advocated for sets like this that are tied to content like that, and like Lore Master and the Consonants.
That's cool.
So I think that's really nice to see. Then also, a lot of the anniversary event stuff has been data mined. Well, specifically the raid. So there's actually 3 raids. They're called Chromie's Memory, TBC, Wrath, and Cataclysm. And each one has 3 bosses. So we're going to face Kel'Thas, Lady Vash, Archimonde, Hygen, I think. Nugarak, and the Lich King, then Cho'Gall, Nefarian, and Ragnaros.
Some of the most badass fights. I'm very happy to see this.
These are listed as time-walking raids, and this suggests that Blizzard are not going to be using the LFR system like they did for the Molten Core event 5 years ago. And that Molten Core event, I mean, I did that. It was a bit messy. So
you had all these brain-dead fucking morons walking around in the Molten Core event because they had just done the Scat Squish. WoD had just come out. account, so nobody knew fucking anything on how to play their character. They had just done a huge prune. So, like, you have, like, 3 different degrees of retardation that were all kind of, you know, like a kaleidoscope of fucking planets aligning for people to be absolutely fucking dog shit at the Molten Core event. And there was never a time where you would clear the Molten Core raid and every single trash mob wouldn't have been pulled. And you couldn't kick anybody out of it either. Originally, at the beginning, you weren't able to remove people from the group. So you were just basically stuck there dealing with these fucking clowns. It was the worst thing ever.
Overall, I think this could be a fantastic event, especially if these bosses are being brought back and their gameplay is actually retained by virtue of it being time walking.
I'm excited.
If they can do that, then this really would be a strong celebratory anniversary event that I think would, I mean, it would drive gameplay. You'd actually have a reason to subscribe that month, log in and play that. It's not new content, but I mean, you know, given all the circumstances, it will feel new, and I think it's just a really, really cool event. So between that and Altaric Valley, I'm really happy with what Blizzard are doing for that 15th anniversary event. But anyway, there you go. That's it for the news. There's been so much with patch 8.2.5 already. I'm holding off until we get more details, until I do the full lore deep dives on these topics. They are really interesting. Got a lot of ideas. If you've got any yourself, let me know down below. So yeah, really cool. It's just nice to see that the WoW cycle is continuing. I mean, obviously it was never going to stop, but like the pace of development seems to be a little bit more back on track. Maybe the back half of Battle for Asmongold.
I'm just happy that they're bringing out content now that matters. I don't know, it just feels like we've been in the B plot forever. Like Mists of Pandaria was the B plot. Oh wow, we've got to fight our emotions and help these people that we don't care about. And then we go back to WoD. It's like, oh, we've got to prevent something from happening that's already going to happen. Like, the only thing that came out of WoD was Gul'dan. Like, that was the only thing that mattered that came out of WoD. Legion, actually, was the A-plot. You know, you were actually moving forward in the main storyline of the game. The fight and the crusade against the Burning Crusade, right? And their overwhelming conquest to destroy Azeroth. You fight them throughout the entire expansion, culminating in destroying the World Soul in Argus. The storyline felt complete, and it made sense. Then we go back over to BFA, and they say, hey, you know how there were 4 old gods? Well, guess what? The Titans, aka us, just invented a 5th one, so go kill that big fat piece of shit. And so then you go down to Uldir and you destroy Gahun, which is basically literally just created as a boss. Then after that, they said, okay, well, that's a big problem. How can we figure out a raid that has absolutely no real significance in the overall broader storyline? Oh, I know. Let's have them fight the factions of themselves if they're Alliance, or the opposite faction is Horde, and nobody actually ever dies except for King Rastakhan, who didn't matter to begin with. King Mekatork didn't die. Jaina didn't die. None of the other characters died. It was basically just the same fucking thing. What came out of BOD? Nothing. Nothing came out of BOD. It didn't matter. King Rastakhan died. Nothing even fucking changed because he didn't do anything to begin with except for deal with Bon Swambi, the Jamaican Lich King. And the whole entire raid went all the way through. Fix Monkey, thank you very much for the 10 get the community subs. I appreciate that very much, man. Oh, right. Don't forget about Grong, a random gorilla that they added into the game that probably had the most emotional attachment from the players more than any of the other humanoid characters in there. And the whole thing was just fucking dumb. Like, the entire raid had no significance on the storyline in any way. And then you have Crucible comes out, and it's like, oh fuck, this is N'Zoth. And so people didn't really understand at that point, because nobody was paying attention or cared about the lore really, to understand the significance of Crucible, and nobody wanted to go in there and do it because the raid was too fucking hard. And then finally we get Ashara, the new raid that comes out, and the end of the raid creates more questions than it answers. The only thing that's like, okay, N'Zoth is loose. What does this really mean? Where did Ashara go? Nobody knows. Like, it's amazing. It's basically like BFA. It's like watching a stream or like somebody is just like trying to like extend. Like, imagine me trying to make content for like 6 hours out of like a 1 hour rate. And so I'm like talking about irrelevant things, bringing in some other different issue, right? It's like it's insane, right? You would just run out of time to do. Yeah, I mean, it's insane.
Azeroth won't have the lulls in content and interest that characterized the first half of Battle for Azeroth. If that's the case, I'd certainly be happy. I think 8.2 has moved us in a good direction, and 8.2.5 and 8.3 could continue to move us in that good direction.
Okay.
And yeah, maybe Battle for Azeroth could end up in a far better place than it started. But there you go, that is it for this video. If you are interested in all of the tasty paladin stuff, there we go, that's on our Patreon for this month. If you're interested in a writing...
Yo, whoa, some out with the 50 gifted subs? Holy shit, thank you, man. Thank you very much, I appreciate that. Holy fuck, thank you, dude. That means a lot. Wow, Sun Mountain, thank you, man. 50 fucking subs, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Now, I think overall, the points that this guy was making, if Eldar were mad at Sargeras, why would he come back to Azeroth to stop him from fucking it up? Because he didn't want Sargeras to fuck up Azeroth? I mean, it kind of makes sense. It's while fun again, considering resubbing, only if you think it's worth it now. I don't want to be responsible for you resubbing and then not liking the game, okay? But overall, I think the game, like, BFA is in the best state that it's been in the entire expansion. That being said, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's good. It just means that it's better than it was before. Holy shit, got into the game 3 weeks ago and I've ran ICC 3 times and just got invincible after 3 attempts. In the same week, I got Time Lost Brodrake after 20 minutes of looking. Congratulations, man. Anduin Ren donated $2 and he said, I'd fuck her. Yeah, I'm sure that will happen. Asmongold Q, shout out my classic guild. Nope. Okay, all right. So anyway, like, the point that I'm making here is that, like, yeah, I mean, I just want to see some more content and some more actual, like, enjoyable types of storylines that are meaningful to the players. Because I feel like the BFA storyline so far, it's been probably one of the worst storylines that the game's ever had. One of the biggest selling points of Wrath of the Lich King is the fact that it was the Lich King. People bought Wrath of the Lich King because they wanted to kill the Lich King. The story is good. No, the point is, like, I think the story is going to culminate into something that's good. But so far, right, with the story of Gahun and the story of the Battle of Dazar Lore, they had no real meaningful significance to the players. And the players didn't understand why these things were happening, really. And I thought they were, I just didn't think they were good raids. Like, I didn't think they were good raids, period. Because they had no impact or significance on the story or on the game as a whole. So that's why I thought that they were bad. Arthas will revive. I don't ever want to see Arthas in the game again. That's the way that I look at it. I don't ever want to see him in the game. I think that the game has been fine without having Arthas in it. And I don't want to see any sort of a change or anything like that's going to different places, right? Basically saying that we could have had skipped most of BFA and gone straight to N'Zoth. Yes, exactly. Like so the A plot in BFA, right? The A plot, and what I mean by the A plot is like the, you know, N'Zoth, you know, the whole thing with the old gods, Wrathion, and, you know, the Azeroth being corrupted by Sargeras' sword and Azerite. Like, that, in my opinion, is the A plot. The B plot is Jaina's mad. The B plot is Sylvanas is mad. Stalin's Cheese with the 15 more gifted community subs. Holy shit. Thank you, man. I fucking appreciate that. Thank you, man. God damn. Thank you very much. BFA stands for Blizzard failed again. Listen, dude. Listen.
That was on Reddit 8 months ago. Fuck you.
Well, he said it, all right? Like, I mean, that's all I'm saying. Like, he said it. I mean, I'm not going to say you're not wrong. But, look. You know what I mean? I mean, there it is.